service. Can you tell me what's the first thing you're going to do?
I'll check the mirror on it.
So check the mirror, Tony.
Alright.
And now what are you checking?
Both sides of the crossing.
Okay, so the crossing's clear.
And we're going to turn left.
So you're going to proceed and turn left at the ramp. And we have another crossing here, Tony.
First thing,
checking your mirror.
That's one it's that big crossing, isn't it?
That's a big crossing, so you have a haven on the middle part of the road there.
That's all one crossing now, isn't it?
It's
no, it's actually two crossings.
It's actually, yeah. So it's actually two crossings, Tony. So
so if I had a pedestrian walking from the right-hand curb,
you have another crossing here.
all right.
You have people waiting, so you need to cover the brake. Check your mirror.
So if I had somebody walking out from the right-hand side on that zebra crossing back there,
Yeah.
would I have to stop?
So if they're on your side of the road and they've left the curb, you need to give way to that pedestrian.
No, if they're crossing from the right-hand side.
Yes. Yeah, be ready to stop.
But you said it was two separate crossings.
You need to be ready to stop. And don't assume they're actually going to stop in the centre, so be ready to stop. If they leave the curb on that centre island, then give way to them on your side of the road. Now you have another crossing up here, Tony. You have people waiting. So first thing you do is
I'll check the mirror.
check your mirror and cover.
Well, I'm only going pretty slow, aren't I?
So you need to cover the brake and be ready to.
Yeah, I didn't really need to cover the brake there, so I was going very slow, wasn't I? So if I covered the brake, I would have stopped, didn't I?
You still need to be ready to stop, so you cover the brake.
And we're going to turn left.
Turn left here. And we have a crossing directly in front of us as you turn left. What's the first thing you do, Tony?
I'll check the mirror, innit?
Okay. And now what are you checking?
Oh, I'm checking the crossing and there's nobody standing there.
Okay. And we have another crossing here.
And we're going to turn right.
And we're going to take the next turning on the right.
And we're going to stop on the left.
And stop on the left where it's safe and legal to do so.
And you can breathe. Good?
Man, there's a lot to think about there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of the hardest subjects.
God.
A lot of people think crossroads is, but I think that's probably one of the hardest subjects. Done very well, isn't it?
I think it's because it's one after the other there, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, I'm not going to say it's going to be as hard as that, but you'll be getting to the deep end, and you know, it gets your brain working. But the thing that made it easy for you there was the fact that we zoomed in on that big identification thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Because that is really, really important, yeah?
Yeah.
If you know that there, you're going to be talking about them. If you don't know that there, you're not going to be talking about them.
Yeah.
And if you're not talking about them, I'm not going to be learning about them, am I?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Got you.
Yeah, some of the stuff, as we get into it, you could kind of go into, you know, I'm not saying, you know, because it's phase one, I'm not saying pass the whole thing over to me, but you could do a little bit of prompting. You know, if I don't give you the right answer, you have still got time to actually tell me. You know, what do we see ahead, Tony? Oh, we see a zebra crossing. What's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to check the mirror. Yeah? And then just watch me make sure I do check the mirror, yeah? And then we could even get a little bit more in there. You know, why is it important to check the mirror? Oh, this is the speed, so you know, if the vehicle's very close behind me, I know I need a bit more time to react.
Yeah.
And, you know, where are you looking? Yeah, but the zebra crossing, that was two crossings, yeah?
Yeah.
What I was trying to get you to do was tell me it was two crossings.
Right.
We've been across it a few times, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
I was trying to get you to tell me it was two crossings.
Yeah.
And I could tell that by the central reserve in the middle, yeah?
Yeah.
And if I was approaching and there's somebody crossing from the right, then I wouldn't need to stop unless they got the central reserve.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Totally.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously we tied the signals in a bit there to it. Got a little bit flustered with the signals going around the parked cars, yeah? And you would have been better off just, if you think, oh, I just can't sort this, pull me over.
Pull you over. Yeah.
Sort it, and then let's get on the move again, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah? It is sorted, yeah? Yeah, so with signals around parked cars, it's an unnecessary signal, and it's a misleading signal, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, so therefore I don't need to do it. And the reasons being is that if I indicate to go around, if I indicate a right to go around the parked car, people may think I'm turning into that road on the right.
Yeah.
And the danger is that the people pulling out of that road on the right may also think I'm turning in there,
Yeah.
and pull out in front of me. And if I signal to come back in, then the people behind me could probably well assume that I'm going to pull over and stop. And the danger there is they're going to try overtaking me, but I'm not stopping. I'm going to carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah? And my strongest form of signal really is
Position.
Because if I was coming up to a right-hand turn, and I'm not saying, I'm not saying don't tell me the signal, but if I was positioned left to centre,
Yeah.
and my speed was coming down, most people would generally assume what? What would they assume by my position being left to centre?
They would
And-
assume you're coming right.
Yeah, I'm going to turn right.
Yeah.
So they're assuming that on my position and my speed. But obviously, I would put an indicator on, because we should indicate if there's anybody around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the position is a very, very strong form of signal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I went wrong.
Yeah. So just to, I didn't ask you because you're working so hard there. I didn't ask you any questions about, because I told you on the bit beforehand we were only covering signals by indicator only.
Yeah.
I could have told you that we were going to cover signals by arm as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously you would have to, at some point, teach them, and that would be probably one for turning right, one for turning left, and maybe one for slowing down, stopping. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean to say because I've said to you just to cover indicators by arm that they won't ask you questions on the signals by indicator.
Right.
The signals by arm.
They
They may well say to you, "Oh, I believe, sometimes you can give a signal by arm." And obviously answer their questions, yeah.
Yeah.
And don't just turn around and say, "No, we're not covering that today." Yeah, I mean a signal by, like a signal to turn right could be beneficial if my house was the last couple of houses before a busy emerge.
Yeah.
If I have a right hand signal, every time I come down that road, people think I'm going right up to the junction. They get a bit of a
Okay.
shock when I slow down and turn into my drive.
Yeah.
But by just dropping the window down and putting my arm out the window and giving a right hand signal, it breaks up the line of the car anyway,
Yeah.
and it makes the car, even if people behind me think, what the hell has he got his hand stuck out there for? It is drawing attention to the fact that I am doing something that they probably haven't, that they don't see every day, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they may well think, oh, hang on a minute, he may well be turning into that driveway. Or it could be very useful if I'm approaching a zebra crossing and I see a pedestrian waiting to cross and I see the bloke behind is itching to get the overtake in, yeah?
Yeah.
I put my arm out the window giving the slow down stop signal. That may well alert him to the fact that, hang on, is this really a good place to be overtaken? I think that signal he's given that I've never seen before might be trying to tell me something, yeah?
Yeah.
So it does actually attract attention, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously if you're not covering it, it's very often they will actually bring it up as you're going around.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe I can also signal by arm sometime, yeah? Yeah, so it's a signal to reinforce your indicator.
Reinforce, yeah.
It's not to replace your indicator,
Yeah.
yeah? You would indicate as normal,
Yeah.
and then you would give the arm signal, to just let people know that there is something happening ahead that they may not be aware of.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good. Done that very well. Yeah?
Good fun, that. Yeah.
Yeah?
Gets the old grey matter ticking, doesn't it?
Well, I'll give that a
Brilliant
pause.
hell.